only 108 kilometers away from Taiwan. Japan wants to be on Yonaguni Island. Patriot air defense missiles deployed. The recent launch of satellites and ballistic missiles by North Korea. Japanese Defense Minister Yasuichi Hamada ordered Yonaguni Island in Japan's Nansei Islands. And the deployment of Patriot missile units on Ishigaki Island. Yonaguni Island, Japan. It's 180,000 miles away from North Korea. And the population is still small. Here you deploy your Patriot missile force. It's like a conflict on the border between China and India. China has gathered a large number of troops on the coast of Fujian. In a word, the drunkard's intention is not to drink. And in Taiwan, Yonaguni is a very small island. There are only more than 1,400 residents on the island. It's just the population of a village. In the past few years, its name has appeared frequently. Mainly for one reason. Because it is too close to Taiwan. Yonaguni Island is only 108 kilometers away from Suao, Taiwan. It's closer than the distance from Pingtan to Hsinchu in China. This is actually not the first time that Japan has invaded the Nansei Islands. That is, the deployment of Patriot missile units in the Okinawa Islands. As early as 2016, North Korea was about to test launch missiles again. Japan went to the Southwest Islands again. That is, Ishigaki Island and Miyako Island. Deploy Patriot missiles. But deploying Patriot missiles on Yonaguni Island. This is the first time in history. This time, I was deployed in Yonaguni. And Patriot missiles on Ishigaki Island. It belongs to pre-deployment. That is to say, its permanent residence is not here. Just for emergencies. They just ran here temporarily. They will go back in 2 days. Japan is actually on the main island of Okinawa. Permanent bases with Patriot missiles deployed. Because this is not only the headquarters of the US base in Japan. It is also the command center for the entire Japan on the Nansei Islands. How many sets of Patriot missiles does Japan currently have? Where is it deployed? Let's briefly introduce it first. Patriot Missile Force Organization. Based on the American organization, the most basic organization is continuous. You can't be smaller than a company. Why? Because there is a radar platoon under a company. There's also a launch platoon that operates the Patriot's radar. Controls 8 launch vehicles. In addition, there are other logistics units. What about such a company? You can't take it apart and use it again. Without anyone, it won't work properly. So the company is the smallest operational unit. English called battery. Then this is the joke that appeared in the domestic media some time ago. Says the West wants to support Ukrainian Patriot batteries. It comes from this word. Battery here means a set of Patriot missiles. Its basic transmitting unit is a company. So we usually talk about how many sets of Patriots does a country have? It refers to how many Patriot missile batteries it has. There are at least 8 launch vehicles under each company. Above the Patriot missile battery is the battalion. According to the American organization, there are 5 companies under a battalion. 4 of them are Patriot missile air defense batteries. There is also an Avengers missile battery, mainly responsible for providing short-range mobile air defense capabilities. So how many sets of Patriots does Japan have? Let's look at the data given by the MDAA official website. Japan currently has 6 Patriot missile battalions, 24 Patriot missile batteries. Then such a data. Basically, the Chinese reports I saw in 2015 were consistent. according to this report from China's official Xinhua news agency. 2015. Japan equips 6 Patriot missile regiments. Each regiment is equipped with 4 Patriot missile launch systems. A total of 24 sets. Completed deployment at 15 bases across Japan. One of the launch bases is located in Okinawa, Japan. The reason why Japan used North Korea to launch missiles and satellites this time. Patriot missiles dispatched to Okinawa. After all, it is only a temporary deployment, not a permanent deployment. However, Japan has already considered using these islands. Patriot missiles permanently deployed on Yonaguni and Ishigaki Islands. Let's take a look at this report from Kyoto Shimbun. Japan is considering before the end of fiscal year 2031. Will be deployed on the Nansei Islands. Number of self-defense forces equipped with ballistic missile interception capabilities. Triple. This is a very long sentence and very difficult to pronounce. What is the self-defense force equipped with ballistic missile interception capabilities? One word can sum it up. That's the Patriot missile. The Japan Ground Self-Defense Force currently has no other missiles. Ability to intercept Patriot missiles. Currently, Japan has 4 anti-aircraft missile batteries. Plan to increase to 11. 6 of the 7 newly added troops. To be deployed in the area south of Okinawa. Only 1 unit is deployed north of Okinawa main island. Amami Oshima. Let's look at the map. The amount of information provided by this report is actually very large. The entire Okinawa Islands in southern Japan. The Japanese call it the Nansei Islands. The center is the main island of Okinawa, where Naha is located. There are a large number of U.S. military bases and Japanese military bases on the island, like the U.S. Futenma Base and the Air Force's Kadena Base, all located on the main island of Okinawa. Okinawa main island to the south. Japan to deploy 6 anti-aircraft missile batteries. Where can it be deployed? If we look at the map carefully, you will find there are actually not many islands south of Okinawa. There are only a few islands that can be counted. From east to west, they are Miyako Island and Taama Island, Ishigaki Island, Iriomote Island and Yonaguni Island. If Japan deploys 6 missile air defense batteries south of Okinawa, this means that the 5 islands we just mentioned, a missile air defense battery will be deployed on each island, and on Ishigaki Island or Miyako Island. It is possible to deploy 2 missile air defense batteries. The density of such air defense capabilities is quite large. Like the Yonaguni Island we just talked about. There are only 1,700 people on the island. Taama Island. There are only 1,400 people on the island. These are very small islands. Ishigaki Island, the most populous island, has only 45,000 people. On these sparsely populated islands, deploying so many anti-aircraft missile units so densely, the goal is self-evident. It is to prevent the Chinese Communist Party's possible attack on Taiwan. In addition to deploying a large number of anti-aircraft missiles in the Southwest Islands, Japan will also improve the performance of its own missiles. Japan Ground Self-Defense Force plans to modify Type 03 air defense missiles, giving it the ability to shoot down ballistic missiles. The new missiles will begin deployment in fiscal year 2026. Not only that, according to this report, these surface-to-air missiles are also expected to improve performance, capable of intercepting hypersonic descent weapons. Then Patriot missiles come to Yonaguni Island. And after the Yaeyama Islands, what impact will it have on the situation in Taiwan? The biggest impact is Japan's anti-aircraft missiles. Can directly provide air defense support to northern Taiwan. Patriot missiles have a range of 160 kilometers. Yonaguni Island is about 108 kilometers away from Taiwan. This means that the important military port in eastern Taiwan, Swao Port and Air Force Base, Jiashan Air Force Base in Hualien, all within the protective range of Japan's Patriot missiles. This also means that if a war in the Taiwan Strait is launched, People's Liberation Army military aircraft, it will be difficult to gain air control over northern Taiwan. The second important meaning: Japanese Patriot missile radar can cooperate with Taiwan's Patriot air defense missiles, because both sides have the same weapon system, also equipped with Link 16 data link. The United States has a very powerful technology. It's called a shot and be guide. What does it mean? It's just that your radar may not be able to see the enemy, but the missile you launched, I can let others guide me. Your missiles are launched. I took over the command midway. Use my radar to guide you. Help you fight the enemy. Many weapons in the United States have this A-fire and B-guide capability. It has also been verified on many weapon platforms. The United States conducted such a test last year. The United States has two air defense systems. One is called THAAD and the other is called Patriot. Patriot radar compared to THAAD. That's nothing compared to a big witch. The detection range of THAAD radar can reach more than 3,000 kilometers. It's very awesome. It is the most powerful mobile radar in the world. Such a powerful radar. Can it be used to guide Patriot missiles? Of course, that's what Americans do. Launch Patriot missile. THAAD's radar takes over for guidance. Finally hit the target. So America's A shooter and B guided technology. It's quite powerful. From a technical point of view, Patriot missile radar located on Yonaguni Island to guide missiles launched by Taiwan. There is no problem. Technically no problem. But is it possible to do this politically? Are you willing to do this? Of course, it's another story. On the other hand, if Taiwan's air defense forces have no missiles, then Japan can also be on Yonaguni Island. Launch Patriot missile. Let Taiwan's radar take over for guidance. This will greatly enrich the air defense system of the entire northern Taiwan. What about other than that? The United States could even deploy THAAD radar in Okinawa. Although the United States currently has deployed in South Korea a complete set of THAAD system. But in Japan, the United States has deployed two THAAD radars. No THAAD air defense missiles were deployed. What if something happens in the Taiwan Strait? The United States can deploy THAAD radar to Okinawa. Patriot missiles to help Taiwan discover enemy targets earlier. The third important meaning is Japan is not just deploying anti-aircraft missile batteries on Yonaguni Island. It will deploy missile air defense batteries throughout the Southwest Islands, especially south of Okinawa, 6 more. Let's look at the map. This means that from Yonaguni Island to Ishigaki Island, from Ishigaki Island to Miyako Island, connecting a line from Miyakojima to Okinawa, were covered by Japanese anti-aircraft firepower. This can provide the U.S. Navy and Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force provide protection. At the same time, the U.S. fleet, equipped with a large number of Aegis destroyers. These warships can launch Standard 3 and Standard 6. Intercept ballistic missiles. Thus formed the land-based patriots. Aegis ships that can protect the sea. Aegis ships at sea can also provide anti-aircraft missiles on land. Form protection. This creates a double protection. Many people say this. Taiwan is an unsinkable aircraft carrier. That being said, Ishigaki Island is also an unsinkable aircraft carrier. Miyakojima is also an unsinkable aircraft carrier. Yonaguni Island is also an unsinkable aircraft carrier. From this perspective, Japan is close to the northeast of Taiwan. There are more than a dozen unsinkable aircraft carriers. Deploying Patriot missiles to these islands. Deploy anti-ship missiles. Will respond to a possible war across the Taiwan Strait. Produce extremely important impact. This is the Wealth Accumulation Channel. See you in the next episode.